When you came in, we were a 10 out of 10 beyond.
You mentioned 10 out of 10 as far as pain level. That was happening 5 to 6 nights a week, from anywhere between 3 to 6 o'clock all the way to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Over 60% nerve damage on our right leg we found, almost 50% nerve damage on the left.
And because the pain was just, I can't function, I can't do anything. My family cried, I cried. Most nights I cried going to sleep. And I was at the point, what's next?
By our next re-exam, not only we saw what I have documented is 50% improvements in symptoms, we also noted improvements on our clinical scores, our neuropathy scores.
Wasn't falling into the bushes with walking my dog. I never thought I'd get better. I never thought I'd golf again. Never thought I'd dance again. Never thought I'd be better. That's the thing we have to understand. January 1st, before, never thought I would even be where I'm at.
Thank you, Randy, for doing this for me. I just wanted to document this case. We've had some really good results. I'll go over a little bit of the exam that we did first, and then I want to ask you to kind of paint a picture of where you were before you started.
Right.
And that way we can take people through. When you came in, we were a 10 out of 10 beyond, right?
Right.
There was actually lower back pain that went down into the legs, but we had neuropathy. That was really bad as well.
Of course.
We did the full evaluation, including the Toronto Clinical Analysis, which is the gold standard for neuropathy testing, where we actually got scores for the neuropathy. Let's see. We had well over 60% nerve damage on our right leg. We found almost 50% nerve damage on the left. Then we went through the process of care based on our exam findings, went through a full neuropathy program here in the office. By our next re-exam, not only we saw what I have documented is 50% improvements in symptoms by our first re-exam, but we also noted improvements on our clinical scores, our neuropathy scores.
Yes.
So we improved a good 14%, 15% on our right leg, improved another almost 10% on the left leg. And that's from testing the actual receptors and getting feedback from the nerves in the feet. So tell us just a little bit about where you were before you came into the office and what you were feeling then. And then we'll kind of walk people through what the care did for you.
You mentioned 10 out of 10 as far as pain level. That was happening 5 to 6 nights a week, from anywhere between 3 to 6 o'clock all the way to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And when I say that, it means I took all my meds, all the opioids. And at that moment, I was pushing the 20 to 25 easily. And and 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm going, is it time to take the next one? It's not 4:30 yet, so I can't take it yet. I mean, I just knew better than that. And I was at the point, what's next? What medication, or is it time to go on medicinal marijuana or, Oxycontin? What's next? Fentanyl? I mean, what's next? And because the pain was just, I can't function. I can't do anything. My son works with me, and he was actually going on the trips 3 days a week. And I would stay home and work the phone. And if I could.
How many pain pills were you taking, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, between gabapentin was 4 a day, and I was taking 5 sometimes. Tramadol 50s, I was taking, it said 4 a day, and I was taking 6 a day. And the doctor knew this. It just wasn't on the prescription. But the dose on the bottle was that. He would say 4 a day, right? Two twice a day, but I got the right number in the bottle.
Wow.
See he's understanding it. So he's giving me enough.
Yeah.
The 100s, I took 1 a day. That was an extended release. He said, take it in the evening. It got to where it wasn't even working. And then to Xanadine, I was supposed to take 4 a day, but he gave me enough to take 6 a day.
And you needed all of that.
And I needed all of it. I was still hurting. When I talk seminars and I say they didn't work, I was still in pain. Taking all that. And the real hope was if I brought my bag up, and I haven't done it ever yet, but if I brought my bag of goodies, I mean, I've got probably 12 to 16 different things, between 8 or 9, 10 units. I've got boots that I wear. I would typically get this. If I couldn't spray it, I would have my wife spray it with biofreeze or something like that, put my boots on, and hopefully able to get to sleep.
Wow.
Well, that means I couldn't get up and go to the bathroom or go to the kitchen or whatever, just because I had the boots on. And it was you didn't want to get them off once I had them on, because that meant they hurt worse.
Right.
All the different, sometimes I had to, and whichever, and they all didn't work. Just because the boots worked tonight, they didn't work the next night.
Right.
The freeze worked last night, it maybe didn't work tonight.
Yeah.
And sometimes 2 o'clock in the morning, a cigarette would work.
Okay.
Because the nicotine, right?
Yeah.
It's the nicotine.
Yeah.
And sometimes that would work, and it would be just enough to where I could hopefully get 30 minutes, an hour of sleep.
Right.
And then I hope to wake up not hurting.
Wow.
That's the worst thing, is to wake up and you're hurting the same, if not worse.
Wow.
Because the medicine didn't work. So that's how bad it was.
Yeah.
And
that sounds miserable.
And when we talked, it was a year later before I reached out.
Yeah.
And called you or texted and said, and that was because I had, I got so tired of it. My family cried. I cried. Most nights I cried going to sleep. Most days I cried when I couldn't go with my family, when I had to cancel because I couldn't go, or I just couldn't make it. Or I said I'd do it. I can't tell you how many signs I hit in the mall because I lost balance.
Wow.
Foot drop, because I used to wear a foot drop, and then sometimes I just said, I don't want to deal with those. I hit signs and scared people in the mall. Or I would slow down just enough wherever we were and walk to the right. Well, that wasn't slow enough. Last time we went to Moody Gardens and I tried it, it took 45 minutes longer to get out the gate. Then I had to wait at the curb so they'd go get the car. The zoo, when I was that bad, it was horrible. I had to stop and take my shoes off 2 or 3 times, but it took about almost an hour to get out the front gate.
Wow.
I just have to throw this in there. Last time we did the zoo, my son-in-law said out to everybody, "My goodness, we're having to keep up with Randy today." And that was about 3 weeks ago.
Well, I think that's a good point.
What's worse
is that, there's people with neuropathy that were not as bad as you. Like, you were in a severe, that's severe pain that you were in all of the time. And I appreciate you taking us back to that to help us understand that, because when we say 50% improvements on these re-exams, somebody might say, oh, well, just 50%. But to you, what did that mean? What was the difference from where you were there to your, through this care where you are now, and what happened?
At that point, I wasn't falling into the bushes with walking my dog.
At the 50% improvement.
Just the 50% improvement, I was not tripping, walking my dog into the bushes.
Wow.
Possibly.
It's huge.
I mean, I did that 3 or 4 days a week before, and not doing that. Oh my goodness.
Not having the faults.
I was, and when that started happening, I had to go get my dog up. Let's go walk,
Yeah.
Where before, I don't know if I can do it today.
Yeah. So
you tried, and 3 or 4 days a week, I'd wind up in a bush.
Right.
Or, or my wife would text, "You said you were going to walk Penny. Did you fall?" "Well, yeah, I fell today." And,
Wow. And you don't do that anymore?
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's awesome.
I haven't tripped, hadn't fallen, sees a cat, doesn't pull me down.
Yeah.
I haven't done that. I can't tell you when I had not done that.
Wow. And what's the difference in pain levels now?
I used to tell you, since 3 months, I was telling people, I used to have 5 to 6 severe, I've even told people in your class, per week. Then I went to once every 2 or 3 weeks, or once a week, once every 2 or 3 weeks. I can't tell you when I've had that bad.
Okay.
I had an outbreak. Did the yard, cleaned the house. About for last Friday or Friday week ago. Never got that bad. It's about a 7. it got to a point. Plus, I had to take my morning meds, right? Well, next thing you know, got out of my mind, and next thing you know, it was 3:30.
Yep.
I went, oh, I didn't take my lunch medication.
Oh, that's great.
Well, the only thing, sometimes you got to play catch up a little bit. So I'm trying to be more aware of, okay, you got to take a little bit. We got to get there, And I took it. Never got to about 7, but was able to calm down quick. It didn't last for 6 hours.
What's the difference now from the amount of pain medications that you described when you were taking to what you're having to do now?
Yesterday's a perfect example. I take a gabapentin, a tramadol, 50, and a tizanidine in the morning, about 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30. About 1:30, I took a gabapentin, a tramadol, and a tizanidine again. Didn't take 2, just took 1. And then about 6 o'clock, same thing. About 9:30, I had woken up, and because I do sleep, I do nap a lot because the medications, there's no, it's tough to get around that, but I do. It makes me nap. Plus diabetes makes you nap. Like 9:30, oh, well, let me make sure I wait till 10, because it was about 6 o'clock. I took them in my head. I said that. About 11 o'clock came around, and I'm going to pass. So what's happening is, instead of that, I'm gonna just cut that 25%. So instead of the 20 or 25, we need to go down to about somewhere in that 12 to 16.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Depending on how rough it is.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's that last medication.
Yep.
Here it was because I was sleeping, or I forgot and the time got out.
Yeah.
Now the new thing is, it seems like it's becoming a choice.
Right.
Where I decide I don't need to take that.
That's good.
And I'm even thinking about I'm trying to self-wean how do I pick the meds, and I could not get my pain management doctor this time to talk to me about that.
Right.
He would not meet with me. That's the one question I wanted, and he wanted his assistant to meet with me.
Mm.
And all I want to do is that's one question.
Yeah.
Can you help me start weaning off of these?
Awesome.
And he wouldn't meet with me. So that's sad. So I know how to do it. I can get there. I'm already self-weaning, but we'll get there.
Well, I think it's important for people to know that it's not perfect, but in most neuropathy cases, neuropathy doesn't get better. It only gets worse.
If you don't do anything about it. I mean, if you don't have a plan like this, it's going to get worse. That's what happened in my 16 years of it.
Mm-hmm.
I started out at 100 milligram gabapentin. My primary care. It's a neuropathy. Start taking this 1 a day. Well, then it was 3 a day. Then it was take 8 a day of those 100s. And then take 8 of those 3 times a day.
And just kept snowballing.
Then the doctor said, well, my goodness, time to go to 600 milligrams. 3 of them a day. Well, now we're at 4 a day. You got so many because you had 2 doctors, take 5 a day. But then I could find out you could take 8 a day. Somebody my size at the time, 310 pounds, you could take 8 of them a day by prescription, by the pharmaceutical. Where does that stop? And then you keep adding on. And when the pain management adds on, my first question is, does that replace any of it? No, take them all.
Why? Well, tell us, what can you do now that you couldn't do before you started this neuropathy program?
Plan trips on the weekend with the family. Not have to worry about going to the grocery store early in the morning or at all. I can go just about any time. I still hurt, but not near what I was doing before. Not near the pain. Go pick up my grandson, not hurt.
What about walking? Shoes? No shoes?
I can wear any shoes I have, any boot I have.
Yeah.
I've bought a new pair of boots because of it. I can wear any shoes. I can. If I have to walk across the floor, I can. If I have to walk barefooted, I can.
You know, I find with neuropathy patients, they've tried a lot of different things usually. And so, what would you say to that person that was in your amount of pain that you were in when you first came in, and they're thinking about starting a neuropathy program like ours, but they're just skeptical right now?
Well, my skeptical was a whole year. I waited to do anything, and my thought was, because I've been doing chiropractor for 12 of those 16 years, and going to a massage therapist and getting 2 to 6 hours relief, depending on what day it was, and you know how great it worked that time. All chiropractors aren't the same. Programs aren't the same. And I've even went back to the chiropractor I was going to and flat told her that the things that are here that are working. It hit home. You know, I felt guilty because I'd been going there a long time. And I went back because she buys paper from me, and I went back, talked to her, flat told her, and feel so free because I did that. But the world needs to know. The world needs to know that the things you have here will help if people will just give it a chance. Do I do all the home stuff 100%? No. If I did, where would I? Oh my goodness, where would I be? See, that wakes me up as well. On our last, on Dr. Gina's and I
Re-exam.
I did say that, and I kind of got back in gear a little bit. But there again, it's about kind of out of sight, out of mind. I clean the house, it kind of gets out of mind, but try to keep them in front of me like they used to keep the others. The others used to line up like people had dolls or toys laying there, you know, ready to use. All my old stuff prior to, you know, from in 25 were my boots and my Kenju. They were all lined up right in front of me, you know, within a room where if I had to roll over, I could reach them, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't too far from the fireplace, so typically they laid it all right there, ready to go, you know. So if I had to roll over, I could reach them. Battery pack here, so I could charge all the devices that needed charging. Sitting all right here, ready for me. So that's kind of way.
Wow.
That's the way Randy lived. Never thinking that was the way it was. That's the way it was. All that stuff's over there. Boots they're all handy. I could still use them. I haven't used the boots, and I can't tell you. I think I've used them once in the last month. But they need to, don't wait. I tell people, start, if you get neuropathy pain from anything, whatever they're blaming it on, start doing something about it. Don't wait. It's only going to get worse as it goes. And when you think you've got it under control, or you've got it figured out, it's going to get worse. There'll be a new level. And then for 6 months, you'll have to use that. And then once you think you use that, it's going to, a new level, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. That's why they keep prescribing more things, thinking it's going to help. It will get worse and worse and worse until you just can't stand it. And at some point, that's why they talk about, and it scares me more than anything, neuropathy should scare. I know too many people. They didn't do anything about it. No exercise, didn't do the medication, did nothing about it, didn't do anything about it. And then they start losing limbs. That's the scary part. It starts, then you know, messes with your feet. The pain's so bad, it starts, there's no circulation. And that's one of the best tools you have here, besides the people here, besides the 4 ladies and you and Dr. G, is that vibe table. It gets people's feet. If they just give it a chance, it will wake their feet up. It'll wake their legs up. It'll get them going. They've got to give it a chance because it will progressively get worse till you start thinking like I do. What's next? My son even drove me down to the CBD store, and I bought some roll-up Smokies just so I could get out. I would puff one or two of those, take a hit off one of those so I could just go knock out on purpose. Not have to deal with it. I'm out. Quit drinking over 20 years ago. Been a number of times that doesn't do anything but mask it. I knew that. That's not the answer. Never drink again. Every once in a while I have a sip of a margarita that my wife orders, but that's just, okay, whatever, I'll do it. That just reminds me, I really don't want to drink again, ever. And I did that. And of course, the guy, he knew I was in so much pain. He runs out to the truck. We're about to get out of the parking lot. He says, hey, if you need something stronger, let me know. He was telling me, if you need some real stuff, for the next, because he said, I'm in pain too. And that's what I use. Mm. So I know a lot of people that go to chiropractic, that take fentanyl. They get fentanyl, do that. I know a lot of people that, smoke marijuana because it's better than the pain, the medicine that they can be given. Don't do that. Get into a program so you can feel better. Start younger. Start when you can. Don't wait till it gets worse, because then you have to play catch up.
Thank you. I really appreciate it when you share your story, and I know that it helps a lot of people. So thank you, Randy.
I told four ladies yesterday. I told one lady that she's supposed to reach out to your carnival store, but I told four ladies just yesterday over at El Gallo. Zach and I, my son, sat there while we were eating and listened to the four complain about their neuropathy pain the entire time. And we were about to leave it done. And one of them was talking. And the one that talked the most, I said, okay, wait a minute. You've been talking about all this neuropathy pain. Have you reached out? Have you ever been to a Better Way? No, what are you talking about? After my 10-minute spill, I looked you up on my phone and they all screenshotted it. So that's where we're at. I always told people, if they got neuropathy, do this, do that. Try this. Don't try that. I've tried it, because I tried everything. I've tried everything. I've tried every magic pill that supposedly was out there. I've tried everything. And I told myself, I never thought I'd get better. I never thought I'd golf again. Never thought I'd dance again. I can't wait to go dancing again. And I'm about to take my son to practice golf. And he's already getting the fishing gear stuff ready. And I'd mentioned that. So I never thought I'd want to dance again. Didn't think I could. Can't wait to go dancing again. Never thought I'd be better. That's the thing we have to understand. January 1st, before, never thought I would even be where I'm at. So I have to go the same step. Now that I can't share it enough. Okay?
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man.
Wow.
Doing that, man.
Wow.